So you didn't advocate,
right now there's
you never advocated martial law, that President Trump should use martial law to stop, the transition of power. You never advocated for that, did you?
I don't recall ever advocating for martial law. I don't know if you have that up on the screen right now because I can't see it. But if you put that text message up, it's clear and easy to read that if that's my text messages and that's what they're reporting, I don't recall if they are. But if they are, those text messages do not say calling for martial law. That it says I don't know about that.
Now.
Yeah, no, it doesn't say that. Now, there's Marjorie Taylor Greene now answering the same question that she also didn't answer when she's in that court proceeding about whether or not she's going to be allowed to be put back on the ballot, considering that she potentially participated and supported an insurrection against her own country. So there she is, not recalling things more and more. Again, Laura Ingraham kind of wants to dig in further, but it seems that she's like, this is only going to get worse, and I'm going to catch hell for continually to expose Marjorie Taylor Greene. So that continues on. Now, she can't even recall whether or not she texted Mark Meadows about martial law. Weird how that works, because here's some of the context of those texts that we did see that she can't seem to recall. In mid-January of 21, just days before President Joe Biden's inauguration, Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia texted then House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to tell him some GOP members of Congress had privately suggested former Trump should declare martial law. Spelled correctly there. According to text obtained by CBS News and first reported on CNN, Greene testified last week that she does not recall whether she encouraged the president to impose martial law. Quote, in our private chat with only members, several are saying the only way to save our republic is for Trump to call for martial law, is what Greene wrote to Meadows on January 17th. I don't know on those things. I just wanted to tell him they stole this election. We all know they will destroy our country next. Please tell him to declassify as much as possible so we can go after Biden and anyone else. Go after them how? Not sure how that works considering you're talking about martial law right now. What are the ways you plan on going after Biden and anyone else? Sounds like some good legal background there. She can go off more. That is one of the multiple texts that Greene sent to Meadows in the post-election period around January 6th. Greene also told Meadows that we think the people who assaulted the Capitol on January 6th, quote, are Antifa, dressed like Trump supporters. We know that they were saying that as well. But Lisa, in this thing, that does tell us that she really believed that line of BS. I thought they were just pushing the Antifa, and the BLM were actually Trumpers with flags and T-shirts, that they bought all this stuff just to look like Trumpers, and also go to his stupid rally beforehand, and then walk down to the Capitol and do all that, because that makes sense. So she really believes that, so she's just as dumb as we thought. Lastly, Greene, who's fighting a challenge by constituents to block her from appearing on this Georgia ballot, as I mentioned, testified in that administrative hearing on Friday that she doesn't remember whether she encouraged the president to impose martial law as a way to remain in power. Let's look at that really fast because she couldn't recall there either. Remember this?
Ms. Greene, did you advocate to President Trump to impose martial law as a way to remain in power?
I don't recall.
There is the text that, of course, was put up as she was saying she doesn't recall. I was watching this, and I was like, I don't recall. And this is a pretty obvious legal, when you're on trial term, or at least maybe a deposition. Maybe they're trying to find out information that you know, and you maybe don't want to squeal on your best friend. Things like that. There's legal legalese when it comes to I don't remember, I don't know, and I don't recall. So guess what I did? I looked it up. So this is from a Williamson law firm, and they're giving information about what you can do if you're being asked, specifically in a deposition in this particular case. But they're talking about the difference between I don't know and I don't recall. And there's a reason why she also used that same those legal terms on Laura Ingraham's show, because she knows she's in some deep doo-doo, right? If she actually admits to this. So this is what this law firm said, talking about the difference between I don't know and I don't recall, and why you should use I don't recall. I don't know is a perfectly good response as long as it's the truth, it says in parentheses. I don't remember, I don't recall, and I don't recall at the present time are all perfectly good responses. And if true, the best is I don't recall at the present time, because it makes it easier to change your answer if you later do recall, or if you later do want to admit that you always knew. That's my addition there. More on this. Keep in mind the difference between I don't know and I don't recall. I don't know means you don't know and you never did. I don't recall at the present time means you knew at one time, but you can't remember right now what the answer is. If you say I don't know when you mean to say I don't recall at the present time, and you later do recall, it'll sound like you've changed your testimony. That's why she's doing it. Because you have to always keep it open for whether or not later you can say, no, I wasn't lying. I didn't say I don't know, because I don't know sounds evasive. I don't know sounds like you're trying to hide the truth from someone or of someone's actions, maybe your own. And later on, when they find more evidence of you actually recalling and knowing what the hell you said, you can't say, I didn't know before. You can say, oh, now I recall. At the present time, at the end of April, I couldn't recall at the present time. On Laura Ingram's show, I couldn't recall. Now I can recall because you guys jogged my memory. I wasn't lying under oath. That's the part they're trying to avoid, is being caught lying when you're on a court proceeding where they're trying to get you to tell the truth. And your objective is to lie. Marjorie Taylor Greene. These are the elected officials that we have to deal with now. Whether or not we have to decipher between I don't know, I don't remember, and I don't recall when they've been a part of an insurrection, and it's been caught blatantly on tapes when it comes to Kevin McCarthy, and in text messages when it comes to Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is a great country we're running here, huh? It's the way this works. The Republican Party is really progressing this country to a new heights that we didn't know we could get to. I hope you guys are happy with this. Maybe it'll get better. It'll probably get worse.